What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome, I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show is about your voice in the world. Before we get to the topic, I'd like to tell you a little bit about me. Being a medical doctor, family practice, I had to quit my career right in the middle of it at 37 because of open heart surgery. Luckily, I survived and actually thrived and became Access Consciousness Facilitator and Akashic Records teacher, also founder of School of Akashic Records. And today, I am doing classes around the world, now more online because of what's going on in the world. And yet, it's still possible to have sessions or classes with me live or online. So our show today is about your voice in the world. Do you have your voice? Can people hear what you have to say? Or do they totally ignore whatever you have to say, want to say, or hear a totally different thing? So let's play with that topic and the tools that can change some of it and create more of you being heard. Because from my own experience, I never had my voice until probably recently through the Access Consciousness, Akashic Record work, or play, using the tools, finally able to find that inner strength, inner voice. What kind of like stimulated that topic, I'm right now in Tulum, Mexico. As you can see, I blurred my background because I'm in an internet cafe called Digital Jungle, which is kind of interesting. The connection is pretty good, but there is some noise outside. You might hear a fan going. The lighting might change from time to time. And yet, I'm still talking. But as I said, what precipitated, I did a workshop this weekend with a guy, I don't remember his last name, his first name was Yuri, from Israel. And he's an amazing singer and player, he plays guitar. And the workshop was called Vocal Freedom. It's been amazing how when we let go of our limitations, our points of view, suddenly the voice starts showing up in the world. It's been amazing to hear everybody in the class, how it's changed through different exercises, through different topics. It was mostly experiential. So we would sing, we would walk, we would do some movements like dancing, but it's not a true like salsa dancing, of course, but it created that safe space where we were able to show up with our voice. And I heard people almost like an opera singing, just because they let go of the points of view. Because our point of view creates our reality. If we have a point of view that nobody hears us, guess what it will create? If we have a point of view, like I did when I was growing up, I was told that I cannot hear the tunes, which actually turned out to be not true. everybody has voice. Everybody has tune, and everybody can hear their tunes. It's more about coordination of those and learning it and not having a point of view. Look back when you were a child. You didn't care what people thought. You were singing, you were crying, you were laughing. You created the sounds that made you happy, that made everybody happy around you or not so happy. Guess what? We use our voice for multiple reasons in different ways. Think if you have children or when you were a child. When a child cries, like the baby, it has different tones, different melodies to tell mom or dad or people around them what they need. That high-pitched sound when they're hungry or when they need to be changed, or that gurgling, laughing sounds that when the baby is happy. All of that actually part of us using our voice. When we start growing up, a lot of times people around us or us ourselves start shutting down that voice. Oh, be quiet. That's one way. I want to hear this. That's another way. Shut up. That's a third way. Or there is so many ways. Or you better never sing again, otherwise my ears will hurt. There's so many obnoxious ways of people shutting other people or children so they don't use their voice the way they can. What if it's now the time to change that? What if it's time to let go of all those judgments you received from all those people throughout your life or lives? Because this is not the only life we have. This is just one of many. Maybe in another lifetime you were an opera singer that got killed because of her voice. Maybe you were able to break the glass with a high C and somebody shot you during the war. Who knows how you end up with not using what you have to your advantage. Let's play with that. Let's actually look inside and just allow our voice to come. You don't have to make sounds. You don't have to kind of like sing right now. Just allow yourself to look inside where your sound resides. Is it in your heart? Is it in your throat? Is it in your belly? Or is it in your mind? How many of you have your voice in your mind? I'm actually one of them. And that's what came up in the workshop, that I constantly judge what I say, what I do, and that's part of having your word, your voice come up. And it's more about choosing what is there or what's not there. What if it's about you choosing more for you, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it sounds like? What if you just be? Because voice is part of being. Voice is part of who you are. It doesn't have judgment associated with that. The judgment is the one that we attach to that. And that's where the mind comes in. That's where the voice from the mind comes in that doesn't sound so good. because that's the judgment of the voice. That's not the true voice. What if we let go of that? What if we use forgiveness to let go of everything that you put on yourself that not actually true? Because all of the judgments are not true. Like, seriously, it's judgment is that gunk on a window that we look through. It's a color glasses that we put on through our lives. What if we don't have to wear them? What if those color glasses, the color of judgment, the poop, as I call it, the shit color, that is not productive? What if it's about choosing to create more? And with forgiveness prayer, it's actually much easier to create something different that is so more productive than whatever we're choosing so far. So let's do it. If you have the prayers with you, if you've taken my classes, we can do it together. Otherwise, you can just close your eyes and just listen. And you can follow, because I think I might read it a couple of times or 3 times or whatever, to clear the stuff that we judged ourselves for so much. So I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. As you can see, even in this prayer, it's about heard, like being heard, or somebody hearing you. Can be judgment, can be positive, can be negative. It's all about the polarity of sound, which sound actually doesn't have polarity. Sound is part of that divine energy of the universe, the magic of the universe. And what if we can use that to our advantage, to whatever we are being and doing with no point of view? And it's actually time for our break, first break of the show. And when we come back, we will talk more about our voice in the world. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I am Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is your voice in the world. And before we went on a break in the first part, we talked about how much judgment we received and put on ourselves to shut ourselves down, to shush ourselves down, to silence ourselves. And so our voice is so quiet or so loud, but still people might not hear it. Because we can go in either way, either talk very softly or talk very loud, but it has nothing to do with how loud we talk or sing. It's about being heard, at least for me. When I was younger, in my first marriage, it was interesting because my husband could not hear what I have to say, like literally could not hear. We went into counseling, and one of the exercises the family coach, or I'm not sure, he was a psychologist, social worker, he did an exercise with us. I would say something, and my husband was supposed to repeat the same thing, and it was supposed to be something totally unrelated, no emotional charge, just a phrase that I think about or didn't have any emotional charge. So I don't remember what I said, but the example might be, I would say, today is a beautiful day. My husband would say in response, oh, you said that the sun is shining brightly. And I'm like, kind of, but not quite. I would repeat same words, maybe slightly different. Might say, this is a gorgeous day, I like it. Okay, the next would be, oh, the grass is green. And I'm like, nope. Yes, it's part of it, but it's not what I said. So on the third or fourth attempt, he finally would get what I say, and then in response he says, but you changed your mind, you said something different. And I'm like, no, it's exactly what I say. So from that experience, I understood that we didn't hear each other. And a lot of times that's normal for this reality, for this world. Our voice is not heard behind our barriers, because we have a lot of barriers, and it has nothing to do with the other person. Actually both. Like, think about how many barriers and barricades did you put up to other people, to your life, to you even. It reminds me that story of a couple moving in to a new neighborhood and the wife complaining about laundry that the other lady in the front of her windows would do. She says she cannot do her laundry, it's all dirty. And you probably heard that story from different people, from me. And yet, after a month, suddenly the laundry was clean. And the woman is like, oh, she finally knows how to do the laundry. And the husband is like, no, I just washed our windows. So we're seeing through the lens of our judgment, but we also hear and we speak through the walls. And those walls is not just the walls of judgment. Those walls are also preventing us to be heard. Think about it. We've learned to protect ourselves from other people. We have our barriers. Healthy boundaries is one of the ways that people are taught in spiritual community. But what if it's one thing that prevents you from being heard? Think about it. Healthy boundaries, meaning healthy barriers. You have walls, right? Those walls not allowing other people to hurt you, but that's also not allowing you to hear or to be heard. Think about it. You're sitting in a room with walls. The other person you're talking about sitting in the other room that also has walls, and some of them are not even the same walls. They might be, so you're speaking through the double walls. Just imagine for a second that visual. How much can those two people communicate, hear, or say what they are here to say? It's not a wrongness, it's just a choice. Would you like to be heard? Would you like to actually hear what the other person actually says, what they mean when they say certain things? Because everything is not just through the judgment, but it also, judgment is another wall, but it also through the wall of protection, the wall of separation, the wall of not being present. How many people not even present in their body? They might be in their mind, they might be in their heart. They already prejudged what you're going to say, so they're not hearing what you're going to say, but also you have the barriers so they cannot hear. Wonderful world, isn't it? What if we don't have to bother with that? What if we can be totally vulnerable and have no barriers? How much of what we say would actually get to the other person? Let's play with that. Right now, you're hearing me like normal, but I'm pretty sure you have barriers. So I'm going to invite you to drop your barriers right now. And you don't have to. Just close your eyes and ask, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. Thank you. How does it feel in your body that you don't have a barrier? If they're coming up, just keep pushing them down, or melting them, or letting them go, whatever is easier for you. And from that space, let's actually do another step toward being heard, or just actually hear. So as you drop your barriers, allow yourself to expand. spend maybe a mile or a kilometer if you're in the metric system. 10 miles, 10 kilometers in each direction, up, down, sideways, like a sphere. So you go 360 degrees. It's actually more than 360 degrees because it's a sphere. It's multidimensional. We're multidimensional creatures, and a lot of sound is actually coming from different dimensions and heard in different dimensions, because this reality, no matter how you look at that, is not flat 3D, not even 3D. If you ever seen documentaries about how this reality is, it's like multidimensional, and we don't even know what it is. So how can the sound be not multidimensional? And you know how it's called when somebody messes up? Oh, it was flat, right? The sound was flat. The note was flat. So there was no depth to the sound. Why? Because sound, just like our being, is energy vibration. And it is multifaceted. When we judge ourselves, when somebody else judges us, we start cutting off those parts of us, including the sounds. So again, my invitation is to drop your barriers and expand. We can go as fast as you like or as slow as you would like. 10, 100, 1,000 miles, kilometers, million miles, kilometers, and go beyond that. Make yourself as big as Earth. And from that, just make a sound, any sound. It doesn't have to be loud. And now expand even more. Expand to the size of the solar system, to the size of our galaxy. Go beyond, more, and drop your barriers. And pull the energy from the universe. And now say, "Ah." And even more. How do you feel right now? What if it's that simple? Speaking from that space of vulnerability and expansion instead of contraction and barriers. What if it's that simple? How much can you hear me now from that space? And I wonder if you're listening live or in the recording, how much more can you hear now from that space? And it's time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about your voice and how you can be heard. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone, and I'm Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is your voice in the world. And in the first two parts of the show, we were talking about the judgments, how the judgments of other people and ourselves shut ourselves down, silenced us, and limit our voice. And I'm not talking about singing, I'm talking about talking. I'm talking about being heard by your spouse, by your significant other, or by your boss, co-workers, friends, family, doesn't matter. And in the second part, we were talking about how we put up barriers to other people, and they put up barriers, barricades, protection, where you cannot even be heard, or they cannot hear you through the walls of separation. So with all of that, our voice has been silenced, has been limited, has been contracted. And I'm inviting you, maybe it's time now, maybe not, to open up to being present with your voice, with what's going on in the world, and how much more can be created based on what we say or do. Right now, I said I'm in digital cafe, an internet cafe. There is a background noise. People are talking, people are laughing. I have the walls to separate me, but there are still noise, the white noise coming in that could interfere. What I'm choosing is to continue speaking to you. And my hope is that you will hear me. And again, part of it because I'm choosing to speak from my heart, not from my brain. The brain that creates a lot of separation, creates a lot of judgment. So, am I saying the right thing? Am I going to offend people? What if it's a wrong thing? Who cares? At this moment, I'm just present with you. Totally vulnerable, totally available for any questions, anything that you can ask me or I can say. And I cannot make you hear me. All I can do is project the voice. And by projecting, I don't mean speaking loudly. Actually, a lot of times, speaking softer makes people listen to you more. I remember doing Zen Meditation, because I've done a lot of practices. And one of the practices was sound, because that's how we show up in the world. And we were supposed to make the sound, I don't remember, I think to move the gong or to move something. And our teacher actually showed us that he could do it with a whisper. It had nothing to do with the how loud it was, because we tried to make it loud, it wouldn't move. And the louder we got, the less it moved. And it's actually about purity of us, purity of being connected with the body, because the voice is actually part of the body and the being playing together. Think about it. Sound has the energy. It's actually acoustical vibration. It's a higher vibration of love, gratitude. That's where the sound is. So when we actually making the sound, we are raising our own vibration of the being. And yet it has to go through the vocal cords. It has to go through our trachea, through the lungs, because it's all the combination of the air moving and us moving and our body shifting and changing inside to create the sound waves. There is a vibrational frequency to the vocal cords. Being a doctor, I can tell you from experience. There are vocal cords there. There are two little flaps of tissue that when the air moves, they start flapping and creating the sound almost like an instrument, like a guitar or a piano when the strings are vibrating. Same as the vocal cords. Same is our uvula that's in the back of our throat. Tongue, teeth, everything, the mouth, everything creates a different sounds. Like the words have totally different, like each letter of the alphabet has different sound, different vibration, and it's created by movements of the tongue, teeth, gums, vocal cords, everything. Everything creates what we hear. Ah, bah. See how my mouth moves? It's different according to what intention is. But what if it's actually more than that? What if it's part of what can heal us? What can create in our lives? What can generate things? What if it's pure magic? In the Bible, I remember hearing the creation story. Remember the creation story? What was the first? The first was word or sound. Everything starts with a sound, which is a vibration. Vibration can be silent because there is a lot of vibration that our ears cannot hear. Nevertheless, there are still sounds. The dogs can hear, maybe elephants can hear. Humans, maybe not. So what if we actually limited the vocabulary that we can hear, the sound vocabulary, the energy vibration that we limited ourselves? And what if it's time now to change that and start creating with the sounds? And you don't have to sing the songs or opera. What if it's just about dropping the barriers and allowing yourself to hear the music? What if music is everywhere? And what if you stop judging all the sounds? Oh, this is a bad sound, this is a good sound, this is a good music, this is a bad music. And yes, there are music that might not work for me. Certain rap songs that belittle women or degrade people, those songs might not work for me. Would I judge it now? Maybe it is a judgment. Maybe it's an awareness. I don't give a crap about it. This is about choosing for you what works for you. And that includes choosing the sounds that can create or generate something different, and actually being able to speak freely without fear of judgment. How much more can we create if we actually started talking without reference point of the judgment? How much more ease would we have in our lives? And what if we started again playing with forgiveness, what was before, and letting go of all those things that not allowing us to talk, to speak, to vocalize what we need, desire. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, and heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. Just notice how is your body feels. Has your voice changed from the exercises we did? Has your hearing improved? Maybe even vision, who knows? Because our hearing, our vocal expression, and vision are connected. Because certain things that we don't want to hear or see, we will not be able to speak. Remember the three monkeys? Not hear no evil, see no evil, and say no evil. Yeah, what if it's about actually choosing? I'm not saying speak evil, but what if it's for one person evil, for another person is joy and creation? What if it's all part of the judgment? to me, evil is unconsciousness and anti-consciousness. And that's kind of defined by Access Consciousness. Gary Douglas, who is the founder of Access, that's where I heard it and I adopted it. And it's actually time for our third and final break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. And I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is your voice in the world. And if you're just joining us now, we've been talking about how we limited our voice, how we limited being seen, heard, and voice is actually part of creation. It's how we create in the world. Is if we are limiting our voice, we are limiting our creation. And as I said, if you're joining just now, I talk a little bit about who I am. I am a medical doctor turning into facilitator, Akashic Record, facilitator of Access Consciousness, Akashic Record consultant and teacher, as well as founder of the School of Akashic Records. And you can find out more about me on the website creatingabundancewithease.com. There is also our podcast every week, live on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. And you can find out more on Inspired Choices Network or on Creating Abundance with Ease. There are links on how to join live audience, how to join the chat room. Next week we are going to be talking about magic and you, and join us live or listen on the recording. There's also TV shows that it goes on multiple platforms: iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. I mean, you can find everywhere. As well as you can contact me on Facebook, either personally, Helen Gitlevich, or on my Creating Abundance with Ease page, as well as Instagram, LinkedIn. So basically, majority of social media. I'm not on TikTok yet. Maybe someday. With everything that's going on in the world, what if our voice starts being heard? What if we all chose to say and be what's required to change the world? What if our voice is part of that chorus that can create a different reality? How much are you willing to let go of your barriers, your judgments, your shyness? Interesting. How many of you decided that you're so shy that you're not going to be using your voice. But using your voice doesn't mean public speaking. I have a funny story. After I had my open heart surgery and quit my job, I was searching, and one of the possibilities for me was art. And I decided to go back to college and did the associate degree in fine arts at Harper College. And to graduate, I had to do a class on speech, public speaking. And I'm like, nope, not doing that. I can do anything, but not this. To the last semester, I postponed and postponed and postponed, and finally I took it. And it was such a gift, because the one thing the teacher said, if you think that public speakers are not afraid, the anxiety before the speech is what creates the greatest speeches. And it's not about being right. It's not about being good. It's not about being perfect. It's just about speaking your truth. What if it's that simple? What if it's not just about public speaking? What if it's about being? Because speaking is part of being, just like hearing is. And we have only a couple of minutes left before the end of the show. Just want to remind you to contact me. Look at where I am in the world. At this moment, there are a few classes scheduled, like Foundation coming up, starting in a couple of days on October 29 through November 2nd. It's a 4-day class online with another facilitator, Rachel Silber. And we've done a lot of work. You can join our public group, Being You Without Hiding. And we've done a lot of clearings, a lot of Facebook Lives together and separate. I'm also doing live classes like Facelift in Buffalo Grove, which is in Chicago area. And at this time, 3-day body classes scheduled in Taiwan has been moved to February next year, because Taiwan is still closed to foreigners. And magic is everywhere. Abundance is everywhere. This is about you expanding, shifting all your limited beliefs, because your point of view creates your reality. So in the last minute and a half, I just want to remind you, expand and drop your barriers. That's how you can hear more and be heard in this reality, because you will not have the walls of separation. If you don't have walls of separation, you can create more, you can be more, and just allow yourself to be yourself. That's all I'm asking. That's all anybody can ask of you, including you. What if you drop your points of view about how you need to show up, and just show up and just be? And to me, one of the greatest and biggest tools is gratitude and forgiveness. The prayer you can find on my website or on Facebook. It's been posted and reposted multiple times. There is actually a group, Basics of Akashic Records, that I haven't been very active, but maybe I will start doing more. Love you all, and see you or hear you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.